Hey guys, Pete Large Copper Constructors. It's getting to be about that time again, so I'm gonna do. I know there's 100 videos out there of setting egg boxes, but I'm gonna go ahead and do one and at least get everything up and running because it's getting to be close to time again. Not exactly. We're within a couple weeks, I think, of my first clutch coming out, so we'll see what happens there. Not sure how big the clutch will be, so I'm going to set up my little egg boxes for my Exoterra incubator, and then I'm going to set up probably at least 2, maybe 4 of my 6-quart tubs for my home. My DIY incubator also, my little fridge here. And with my little fridge, it also has a water reservoir that I'm going to put into the bottom of the fridge to, with water in it to help keep the humidity higher inside there, so the water in the egg box doesn't have to work as hard. If that makes sense. So I do have small holes on each side of the egg box on these. These are not airtight, but I want some airflow to go back and forth through there. I do have two small computer fans set up on the inside of my DIY incubator, so I'm going to run it this year again and see what happens. I didn't need it last year because we only had one clutch and it fit in the smaller incubator. So I'm going to run it, and I got my thermostat in there already. At least run it for a couple of weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks before you have your first clutch, because you want to find out if something's going to not work and you need to replace it real quick. So that'll give you some time to do that. So we're going to go ahead and get into this video. I'm going to resituate the camera, move you guys up a little closer, and just move in on this. Now last year, sorry about that, the camera died. Battery died, I should say. I was prepared this time. I have charged batteries up here. Anyway, as I was saying, last year we only had one clutch, so we ended up using the small Exoterra incubator for that. It was just 4 good eggs, 5 slugs. So that worked out really well for that clutch. They all fit in one of these smaller tubs with plenty of room to spare. These are airtight, but I also have holes on each end of these, and I'm able to pop open the top to get more airflow into these. I will move you guys closer and show these off a little bit more here in a moment. I'm going to also fill up my reservoir for my DIY incubator. I'm going to do that right now. Well, I'll do that here in a minute. I'll let you guys watch me do that here real quick. I'm going to sit up there so it doesn't fall. I'm going to move it a little bit. There. Alright. That being said, anybody that's familiar with the Exoterra incubator, it also has a small water tray in it. It's really shallow. I need to clean it I'm going to clean it before I actually use it, but you fill this up with water and helps regulate the humidity on the inside of the incubator while your tubs are in there also. But helps to maintain your humidity in your box a little bit better. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go off camera. I'm going to hurry up and scrub this down. I'm going to use some Chlorhex 9 with water solution, and I'm going to clean these up. I'm going to also wipe out that tub for the mini fridge. This, again, I'm going to wipe it out for like the 5th time. You want your stuff to be very, very clean. Helps cut down on the mold and the fungus and stuff that's going to grow in there. So that being said, I'll be right back. I'll resituate the camera, focus on the boxes a little more, and stay tuned. Alright guys, I got you resituated. I've washed out the tub and the tray for the smaller incubator. I'm going to situate a little bit more. Make sure you guys can see this okay. That being said, move this around a bit. Make sure it's all in camera. There we go. Alright. Now, unlike last year, I did not measure how much perlite and water I put in my tubs. I just put 1.5 to 2 inches of perlite in, and then I went ahead and just dumped water in. So I think this year we're going to go ahead and zero this out, and I'm going to measure a couple of tubs and see how they do. I can always add water to them if necessary. So this is our tub with our egg crate, or our diffuser. I'm going to move that out and put the lid back on. So we just want to have I'm going to do 200 grams of perlite and 200 grams, maybe 250 grams of water. So there's zeroed out. I'm going to set this off to the side because it's clean. Everything's clean and sterile right now. Grab my, what's left of my one bag of perlite. I may end up having to order a little bit more of this stuff. It's not a big deal. Remove the lid. Very little left in this bag, so I will zero that out again. We don't really need the lid on it. Uh, 36 grams. All right. My other bag up here. The thing about the perlite, it is a bit dusty. That. Alright, we'll go ahead and dump that in there now. And then I'm going to do a couple of tubs just with the, just throwing perlite in and water like I did last year. I might actually just do 150 and 150. I want to fill it too full. 150 grams of perlite. It gives me about an inch and a half at the bottom. That's what I'm looking for, roughly. I can always move it around later if I need to move it away from the top of the lid. Right, so I've got my water here, so we're going to go ahead and, oh, it dropped. It's not an exact science, so I'm going to say there's 150 grams of perlite in there. Probably 149, 150. So we're going to go ahead and put in, it keeps bouncing back and forth. So we're going to go ahead and put in, to get it to 300 grams water. Oop, a little bit too much. That's okay though. And we're going to mix this together. Trying not to make too much of a mess, because I'm good at making messes. I'm very good at making messes. I'll mix that. I may end up putting a little bit more in there, water. And it's clumping up pretty well. So that's about what the consistency you want if you're going to measure out your perlite and your water. You want it to clump up, but not bring out water. So that's pretty good mixture right there. So I'm going to say this tub's probably good. I'm going to flatten this out as best as I can here. Hey, I didn't really make a mess. But this is just the first tub too. So give me a minute. We're going to take our egg diffuser, throw it in there. Our pre-cut egg diffuser. Fits perfectly. There. Alright. Now that's not going to allow the eggs to touch any of the moisture as far as the water in the bottom of the tub. I know you've probably seen this 1,000 times on YouTube. So we're going to throw our lid on, lock right up, and there's our first egg tub. All ready to go. Alright, now I'm going to do one of the smaller egg tubs. That goes in the ExoTerra incubator that I have. Because the 6-quart tub are too big for it. I did a video on the ExoTerra. I've also done a video on my DIY incubator also. I'll go over a few things here in a minute. I'm going to put this inside the incubator. And then we're going to go ahead and test our fans and whatnot. And I'll plug everything in and get everything working. Let me grab one of the small ones. These are all pre-cleaned. They've been scrubbed, disinfected with chlorhexidine. And then we're going to go ahead and do this with that. So I'm also going to measure this one out. You know what? I'm not going to measure this one. I said I would do one and one, or I would do one measured and one not measured. So I'm going to go ahead and just put in some perlite with this one. some, oh, there's my mess. Like I said, just give me a minute and I'll make a mess, which I did. Put a little bit more in there. There it is. Ah, everywhere. Joyful fun. So now I get to clean the room again. Not a big deal. All right. We have roughly an inch in the bottom of this right here. Flatten it out. I'm going to pour a bunch of water in it. Not measuring it at all, just pouring. Not caring how much is in it. There. Alright, we're going to go ahead and mix this. Make sure all of it gets wet. And since we're not putting our eggs directly into the medium, we don't actually have to worry about how much water is in it, because we're suspending it above it. It's actually pretty close to good. It's got a little bit too much water in it. I can almost wring it out, almost wring water out of it. So that's pretty well saturated now. I'm going to get it a little flat, as flat as can be. I'm going to try and not step on too much Paralite on the floor. So I'm going to sweep it up real quick so I don't make more of a mess. Get it up out of my way. So it's crunching on it. Bump the camera there, I'm sorry. So as you see, if you use a medium and you do not use an egg diffuser or a light diffuser for it, and you're setting directly into the substrate, you want to be a little bit more accurate on your measurements. And you'll want to make sure that your Paralite and water are pretty close to being spot on. Alright, there's 2 egg tubs ready. That one has not been measured. It's pretty close to being perfect as far as the measurements go. I did not measure it at all, so we're going to go ahead and slide this into the incubator. And I'm going to move on to the next tub. I'm going to move this shelf in here, because I can only fit 2 tubs in the Exoterra, the small one. Alright, now, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make up the rest of my tubs here, and I'll measure one more of the 6 quarts, and then the other 2 I'm just going to throw stuff in it. So stay tuned. Alright guys, we've got our tubs done that I wanted to fill for today. I got 6 total tubs. 4 of the 6 quarts and 2 of the smaller ones for the Exoterra incubator. So we're going to go ahead and start plugging things in for the DYI incubator. I have my reservoir at the bottom filled with water. It's right up to here. This right here is showing that it is 68 degrees in there right now. I'm going to set that there. I have my probe. It's zip tied here in the middle of the top shelf. I can fit another I can fit another 3 6-quart tubs in here, maybe even 5 if I put them on top of the reservoir at the bottom. I do have a small fan. One of the fans is down there, and there's one right there attached to the top of the inside of the fridge there. They are connected, so they do both run constantly to circulate the air around in the incubator. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start plugging things in and see if stuff starts working. Now, as far as the fans go, I don't know if you'll be able to hear them on the camera. They're kind of quiet, but we'll see what happens here. I'm going to plug them in now. They are running. I can hear them. We've got airflow there. We've got airflow there. All right, perfect. Now, next thing will be to plug in the herpostat. Okay, let it start up. There it goes. All right. I'm going to reset my temperature, and the alarm's going to go off for a while. System setup. No. Exit. I went out of that. Let's see. System setup. Menu. Daytime temperature is set at 90.7. I'm going to drop that down to 90. Egg back, and then exit out of here. So now the beeping you're going to hear is the alarm going off for the temperature. For that, it's going to climb slowly. I believe I have the maximum output set at 50. So it'll take it a little while to get there. But I don't want it to climb all the way up and then go way over temp and then drop back down in case power failure or whatnot, so we lose power. But while that's doing that, let's check on our stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can feel any heat coming off the heat tape yet. The heat tape is just taped to the back of the incubator. Do not feel any heat yet. Maybe a little bit, but it is still 67 degrees, so it's actually colder than what the thermostat says it is. So that being said, we'll check on it in about an hour or two after everything gets up to temperature, and we'll go from there. I am going to keep a close eye on this, so if anything does need replaced, I can do that before I actually need this. Hopefully everything's still working. Hasn't been ran in about a year, so less than a year. It's probably been 8 months. So we'll see if it keeps going. Yep. That's pretty much it for this. I'm going to put one tub back in that I have done. I'm going to slide it right up here. I can't hardly do one-handed. I'm going to do this without dropping it. There we go. There it is. Alright. Alright, there's that. Alright, I got 4 tubs in there. We'll let them heat up and get ready to go. Close this up. Now, the Exoterra incubator. It's a little bit easier to run. I'm going to fill the bottom tray, this here, with some water. Oh, my jug's way over there. Alright, give me a minute. I'll grab my jug. Put my jug way over here because I had to clean my table off because it was full of perlite. So, I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit of water in here. Alright, and be careful not to put too much in because it will spill everywhere. Close that up, make sure it's latched. Good. Alright, I'm going to power that on. And it's going to run until we get up to temp. So that's going to kick on and run for a while. One thing I do like about this, when I do actually end up having to get a commercial incubator, I'm really going to like the fact that it has a light. So yeah, I can turn that on anytime I need to. Now this is going to go off for a long time because I have it set at 35% maximum power, so it will gradually get up to temperature. Like I said, if there's a power outage and I do have eggs in there, I don't want it to rocket way up to 100% and overshoot the temperature, and then go back, and then it'll go back down to where it needs to go, and then regulate the percentage at that point. I want to regulate the percentage from the very beginning. So that being said, initial startup will take a while, so it's going to beep up here for, well, probably an hour or so until it actually gets up to temp. I think I have the alarm timer set for 30 minutes or something like that. That's the reason I have that set on this. So it'll shoot up to 90 degrees. We'll let it run overnight. I'll check it first thing in the morning and see if it's actually holding temperature where I want it at. So that being said, guys, I'm going to move you guys over here. Hopefully it's not too dark. Let's see what it looks like. It's too dark. Alright, we're going to move you guys over here. Bear with me so you can see my beautiful face. Alright guys, that being said, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification, set it to all so you know when I put up a new video. We're going to do a couple more videos. I'm getting really excited. A couple of the girls are actually showing signs that they could be about ready to go. And I talked about that over on Patreon, who I thought was going to go first. I'm not going to say anything here. I'm going to jump on over to Patreon now and actually talk about a couple of my problem girls who aren't eating real well. What I'm going to do with them. One girl in particular and one of my breeding males. So, yeah, lecture. Hope everyone's doing well. I already said the lecture subscribe thing. If you want to help support the channel, go over to Patreon, check out the videos over there. You gotta subscribe. It's $5. You know, if you don't like it, it costs you $5. If you don't like it, you don't have to stay. Also, we're over on Instagram. Go on Instagram, give us a follow over there. We've got 360, 370 followers right now. I don't have it sitting in front of me, so I'm not sure. So yeah, go check us out over there. I have not posted on Instagram for a while, but I will be posting here really soon. I'll be putting up all kinds of stuff that I will talk about later on here. I kind of touched base on that on the last video on what we have coming. So that being said, I'm going to get off of here and jump on over to Patreon and talk about what I'm going to do with my two problem girls. Or my problem girl and my problem boy who aren't feeding real well. So until next time, guys, I'll see all of you in the next video. Beep, beep.